Good evening. Welcome to day 17 of Kit's Rock Review's month-long tribute to the band Genesis, which we are calling Turn It On Again, which was a Phil Collins era Genesis song, Turn It On Again. But we're going to go back to the Peter Gabriel era of Genesis today. In fact, we're going to go to the album which set the stage for the classic 70s lineup of Genesis. We're going to talk about Nursery Crime here. This is the album in which Phil Collins and Steve Hackett officially joined Genesis with the original trio of Peter Gabriel, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks. So the classic lineup of Genesis, this is the first album they recorded together. The first song on this album is called The Musical Box. And believe it or not, it was actually developed prior to the classic lineup of Genesis getting together. It came from the original guitarist of Genesis during their Charterhouse days was a guy named Anthony Phillips. And he developed this unique tuning for his acoustic guitar where the three top strings, he would all tune them to the same note, all tune them to F sharp. And they started having this song. It was just an instrumental piece at that point called F sharp because they were playing it in Anthony Phillips tuning. When he left the band, they kept developing the song, and eventually the song morphed into what we get on Nursery Crime, with the song called The Musical Box. On the studio version of the song, it starts out with Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks. Tony Banks, keyboard player. In the early days, he also played 12-string guitar. So Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks open The Musical Box playing 12-string guitars with that tuning that Anthony Phillips developed. So when you watch the video, you'll hear them playing those 12-string guitars. Steve Hackett plays electric guitar on the song, and part of his electric guitar that he developed, electric guitar song, he wanted something in the song. The song was called The Musical Box. He didn't feel like anything in the song sounded like a musical box, so part of his solo was developed to sound like a musical box. And also, for those who don't know this, he does a lot of tapping on his fretboard. A lot of people recognize tapping if you see Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen is famous for that, where you get the neck of his guitar and he taps the strings on his electric guitar to get a sound out of that. That actually was developed, believe it or not, by Steve Hackett, and a lot of heavy metal guitarists, including Eddie Van Halen, have said they got that technique by watching and listening to Steve Hackett of Genesis. Also on the song, you hear more electric guitar, and it's sort of a loud, just striking the chord. That's actually Peter Gabriel's idea, because back in the late 60s and early 70s, Peter Gabriel was a fan of Pete Townsend of The Who, and he liked, that windmill thing that Pete Townsend does on a lot of the Who songs. He liked that, and he wanted to get that sound on a Genesis song. So when you listen to the song, in the comments on the video, you'll hear that sound, and it's Genesis trying to get a Pete Townsend guitar-like sound. Okay, anyway, and then there's one more thing I forgot to tell you about. The drumming on the song by Phil Collins, it's actually based on the drumming pattern, the percussion pattern that Phil Collins heard in a song called The Weaver's Answer by another English prog rock band called The Family, who were active in the early 70s, and he liked that sound and he thought it would fit appropriate on The Musical Box. Now the lyrics for The Musical Box, the story that's going on in The Musical Box, it's a little weird Victorian macabre song. So if you have the Nursery Crime album, this is the scene of The Musical Box. This kid, it happens in Victorian times. This kid named Henry was accidentally killed by his friend Cynthia. That's Cynthia. That's the mallet she used to kill her friend Henry. There's Henry's head. She later finds a musical box, and in the musical box is Henry's spirit. When she opens the musical box thinking it's going to play a song, his spirit comes out and rapidly starts aging. As his spirit ages, he gets a lifetime worth of desires and feelings that spill out of him. And he wants to experience these that he never got to experience before. And as he's talking to Cynthia about helping him experience all these desires, Henry's nurse comes. And what does Henry's nurse do when she sees this musical box? She takes the musical box, she throws it against the wall, it smashes, destroys the musical box, destroys Henry's spirit, and the song ends. So it's a typical weirdish Peter Gabriel Genesis lyrics, but that's the song of the musical box. There is also, if you didn't know this, there's a Genesis tribute band called The Musical Box, named after that song, and they specialize in the Peter Gabriel era of Genesis, although I heard that they are actually doing some 3 Sides Live stuff now. But anyway, they are the only Genesis, the Musical Box is the only Genesis tribute band that's actually been endorsed by Genesis. I was reading that Tony Banks actually invited them to the Farm Studios in Surrey, England, so they could listen to some of the early Genesis songs and some of the early Genesis live recordings, so they could actually hear exactly what Genesis was playing, so it would help their tribute songs be even more authentic to Genesis's early sound. So, in the comments, I will put a video of the Musical Box. Please let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about other songs from Nursery Crime. And until next time, I would just like you to remind everyone out there, keep on rocking in the free world, and I'll see you later.